Man, I can't believe it. I'm here in the Point St. Charles borough of the city of Montreal here, where I was born and raised, and look at this. Classic Triumph TR6 74. And this is the third old car that I see in this neighborhood, and it's like one of the reasons why I moved to the Hochelaga sector 6 years ago is because there were a lot of old cars. There's not really as many as there were that time, and now there's still as many here in this part of the city. And where I live is just as old and historic as this area. Why is that? I think it's because maybe there are people that got more money here. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. Oh man, you know what? I'll tell you guys something. You know, I don't care for the Triumph Spitfire. I don't hate it. I just think it looked cheap compared to this car. Even though in hindsight, these were shit boxes, by the way. I don't know what it is about the Brits, man. They were so arrogant. They never bothered to build good electrical systems and wiring, and everything was short out and rotten. But I rode in one of these, I'll never forget, sometime in the mid-90s in Saint-Émilie-de-l'Énergie, north of Montreal, way north. Two-lane blacktop with pine trees everywhere, curvy roads, listening to CCR with this. This could have been the same car. Maybe not. The one I rode in was more of an orange-red. But that's one of the things that was very unique, I find, to this car compared to all other British classic sports cars. That it's the size of those wheels. The size of those wheels and tires, man. I don't think there were any other British cars that were like that, you know? See, this guy's slowing down, stopping. I had another guy who was beeping at me. He wanted to run me over, practically. Anyway, like so many antique cars, you know. Okay, they weren't great cars, but man, just what a cool design. They were just such cool cars, you know. They'll never make cars like this again. That's why people love old cars. Again, I wish that Jeep wasn't there. It's so distracting. That's why we love old cars, is despite all their foibles. You know what it is? I think I'm like a lot of old cars. I'm like this, you know, like I'm highly talented in many things, but I'm defective. You know, just like so many people. Nobody's perfect. And another thing, like I mentioned in the last video I just made of a 77 Camaro, is one of the great things about this area, like where I live, when you see an oldie on the street, you got these historic buildings in the background, so it adds to it all, you know? It makes it more interesting, you know? I mean, that's what I don't miss about living in, for example, the suburbs, the West Island. It's kind of dull, you know, a lot of areas. Not all of them, I mean, but... Inline 6-cylinder, and I think they had 3 Weber carburetors. What's this badge here? That's a Triumph. No, that's a British Leyland badge. Yeah, British Leyland, man. They really hit a fucking wall in the 70s. And Land Rovers, Triumphs, Jaguars. They made all these cars, Austins, but they were just such terrible quality. And I think that's the great thing. If you're a mechanic, and you can buy one of these cars, and even regardless of their faults, the defects they have, if you can actually fix them so they work well, and even if it's not factory correct, so to speak, then, you know, whatever, you're laughing. I can't get over those fucking size, those blocks on those bumpers, though. That cracks me up. Look how fucking huge those blocks on the bumpers are. They stick out like a couple of pair of titties, you know. Here's your jet fuel goes in there. I can't believe it, man. That's hilarious. Three antiques in one day. This, the 77 Camaro, and the early 90s Dodge Daytona, which pales in comparison to these two, but still a significant car, still part of history. You could do a lot worse than that. And you know what? I'm trying to think. I think 76 or so was the last year for these. Yeah, because before this model was the TR4, which was almost the same thing, but it had a 4-cylinder, and then the TR6 came out, and they had the 6-cylinder inline. You know. Well, there you go. I'm tickled pink. Y'all take care now, you hear?